So what happens when a legendary luxury brand decides to team up with two of modern art's most important pioneers? Well, today we're diving into exactly that, the incredible collaboration between Loewe and the artists Josef and Anni Albers. It's a story all about craft, color, and creativity you can actually wear. But that brings up a really big question, right? How do you actually turn a masterpiece into a handbag? I mean, it's not as simple as just printing a famous painting on some leather. It's about translating an entire artistic philosophy into something tangible, something you can carry. So, how on earth did Loewe pull it off? Well, the answer really starts to come into focus with Loewe's Fall-Winter 2025 collection. You have to understand, this wasn't just another season for them. Nope. This was a full-on celebration of one idea that both of these worlds, art and high fashion, hold totally sacred. And that idea is craftsmanship. And this was the real deal, an official partnership with the Albers Foundation, which, when you think about it, makes perfect sense. Loewe's whole identity is built on its legacy of master artisans, while the Albers spent their entire lives exploring materials and form. It's like a meeting of minds from two totally different worlds, but they were speaking the exact same language. So let's properly meet the two main players in the story. On one side, you've got this giant of Spanish luxury, and on the other, two of the most influential artists of the entire 20th century. Just take a second to think about this pairing. You have Loewe, a brand that is all about the deep traditions of Spanish leatherwork, and then you have the Albers, who were these absolute trailblazers from the super modern, forward-thinking Bauhaus school. It's that contrast, that tension between old-world tradition and radical modernism. That's where the magic really happens. And if you're not familiar, who were Josef and Anni Albers? They weren't just artists, they were visionaries. Josef's work completely rewrote the rules on how we understand color. And Anni, she took weaving, something that was often dismissed as just a craft, and elevated it into a true, powerful art form. They literally changed the game. Okay, so here is where it gets really, really cool. How do you take these huge, complex ideas and translate them onto a handbag? Let's break down exactly how Loewe's designers connected those dots. First up, let's look at Josef's work. His most famous series is called Homage to the Square, and it's this incredible, deep dive into how colors interact with each other. He showed how the exact same square shape can create totally different feelings of space and depth just by changing the colors around it. So, what's the perfect canvas for an idea like that? Well, Loewe's iconic puzzle bag, of course. It's like it was made for this. Those angular, geometric panels became the perfect stand-in for Albers' squares. The bag's own design became the squares within squares, basically bringing his paintings to life in 3D. But color was only half the equation here. The collection had to capture the genius of Anni Albers too. She was a true pioneer of textile art. She created what she called pictorial weavings, arguing that texture, the feel of the thread, the pattern, all of that could be just as expressive as paint on a canvas. And the result is a collection that isn't just meant to be looked at, it's meant to be felt. The use of these really intricate woven fabrics and rich textures is a direct tribute to Anni's whole philosophy. It's art for your sense of touch. You're supposed to want to run your hands over these bags. You can see this whole vision play out across the puzzle bag line. They used different materials, but each one had a specific purpose. The super smooth calfskin nappa, that was the perfect clean slate for Josef's bold color blocks. And the woven fabric versions, that's a direct channel to Anni's groundbreaking work with textiles. But here's where they took it a step further. The collaboration doesn't just stop with the finished bag. It actually invites you, the owner, to get in on the creative process and make the piece one of a kind. This is just so in the spirit of the Bauhaus, right? This idea of experimentation, that creativity doesn't have to end with the designer. Loewe wanted you to keep the design process going yourself. So it's not just about owning the piece, it's about making it yours. And they made it super fun and easy. So you start with your bag, that's your canvas, and from there you can add these awesome colorful straps or these really cool kind of quirky dice charms. Every new combination you make is like a whole new composition, so you can create a version of the bag that is 100% you. So when you pull back and look at this whole thing, it leads to a much bigger and way more interesting question. What does this collection really represent?
It totally challenges the lines we usually draw between what belongs in a gallery, a workshop, or in your closet. By embedding the Albers' artistic principles so deeply into every single stitch and every single panel, Loewe did something pretty remarkable here. These bags are elevated way beyond being just a luxury accessory. They become pieces of wearable art, carrying the whole history and philosophy of a modernist movement with them.
Which leaves us with this one last thought to chew on. When the craftsmanship is this incredible and the inspiration is this profound, where exactly is the line between an accessory and a work of art? This collection pretty much erases that line. So, can a bag be a work of art? Looking at these pieces, I think the answer is a definite yes.